Happy Monday. Happy Motivation Monday. It's quantum magic time, you guys. All right. Awesome. Welcome. We're gonna wait 1 minute and then we're gonna get started. Grab a pen, grab a paper, whatever resonates with you. I want you to write it down, take notes, pay attention. All right, cool. We're gonna get started. What's up? Oh, I love you guys. Okay, so welcome back. Every Monday, 12 p.m. PST, we're on here talking about quantum magic, life, mindset, energy, and all things to level up and just live an awesome life. So today I wanted to talk about something that's going on, I think, for a lot of people right now, because there's so much change happening in the world. There's so much shifting going on. People are really analyzing and thinking about what they want in their lives, what serves them, what doesn't serve them. So today I wanted to talk about relationships. So I want you to, obviously, again, last week we spoke about energy. Everything's energy. We create our own realities. Mindset is everything. Positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. Your frequency is everything. So dependent upon what your frequency is and where your frequency is at determines the level that you're able to manifest and that you're able to attract. So that being said, right now I feel like there's just a lot of people I've been talking to that are, not resonating with maybe friendships anymore or relationships anymore, and they're struggling because they're like, why is it that I was so connected to this person and I've had this relationship with this person and we're just not linking up right now? Like, it's just not working. I'm not enjoying the energetic exchange. It's just not what it used to be. I think it's so important to look at everything kind of ebbs and flows in life, and yes, it's not always going to add up. It's not always energetically going to match up, and people go through times and will come in and out of your life and things like that. But sometimes we need to make deeper decisions and choices that can be hard for us as human beings that feel and that have emotion, to make those decisions and cut people off completely from our lives. It's such a hard and shitty way of looking at it, like cutting someone off. And I don't like looking at it like that, but you do have to be very protective of your energy and your energetics and what you're allowing in and out of your life and the choices that you're making, because ultimately all those little decisions and all those little choices, they do matter, because those little choices add up to that big ultimate choice and that big ultimate experience and your everyday, your overall experience. So, essentially, when you're dealing with a relationship that seems to just be butting heads and not working energetically, and again, that's for a romantic relationship, a friendship, a family membership, relationship, whatever it may be. Obviously, family's a little bit different. You can't just you can cut family off, and it's hard for me when it comes to family, because I feel like when it is family, it's important that you have that support system, that you make it work. But if people are not able to learn and are toxic and just are bringing you down, then sometimes, even if they are family members, you do need to make a decision for yourself if it's okay to continue that energetic exchange and that energetic relationship. So essentially, when talking about relationships, I always like to look at your meeting time. When you met, the foundation that you built with that person. Again, this is any type of relationship. And this is all gonna make sense in the end. I'm gonna twist back around here. But where were you at in your head, in your mind, in your energetic frequency when you met that person? Were you struggling in life? Were you successful in life? Where were you at? Were you happy? Were you depressed? That is just a gauge because essentially everything in our lives is a mirror and reflecting back to us what's going on our inner side, inside us. So, and again, everyone will kind of be these players in your experience and mirroring back what's going on inside of you. So sometimes when you get to a place in life where you are leveling up and growing and moving forward and experiencing change, those people that were in your life that resonated with you are not resonating because you're coming up and you're raising your energy, and they're still here. So they're trying, but they can't get up there because they're not making the shifts, the changes, the awareness, the consciousness, that everything that you're, the work that you're putting in, they may not be doing and are not realistically, scientifically able to raise their frequency to the level that you're raising yours. So that's why it's important to look at, okay, well, when I met this person, where was my energy at? Where was I at in my head and time frame and space? Because that's most likely where that person was as well in that time frame. And if you have significantly changed and grown since that time, then there is a chance that that person is still in that place and they're just energetically not matching up with you anymore. And again, I want to go into the ebb and flow because yes, not everyone's going to always energetically match up with you. People go through things. People have a bad day. People have whatever. But it is important that if it's a constant issue, if it's constantly headbutting versus love, if it's constantly drama versus peace, that's what you need to look at. That's when you need to reevaluate a relationship and reevaluate if it's worth you being involved. Because essentially, everything you choose to do and energetically play in is your choice. So if someone is treating you a certain way, I mean, energetically, somehow the foundation was built on those energetics and you're accepting it and you're allowing it. Until you voice your opinion and you voice what is bothering you and how you can come up with a solution to move forward from that and energetically raise the level of the relationship and the bar so that you're setting standards and you're telling people this is what I'm willing to accept and not accept, then that's where you'll start to see relationships changing and shifting for better or for worse. And again, I think life, again, everything happens for a reason, and people come in to teach us lessons, whether it's a long time, short time, or forever. I don't know if I believe in forever. I think everything is always energetically shifting. So I think inevitably everyone is always going to be coming in and out of our lives. And you know, it's kind of crazy. Like a good friend of mine, her and I, you know, we had a little bit of a falling out a few years back, and it was over nothing crazy, but we weren't resonating at that point, and that's okay. We went our separate ways and there was no hard feelings. But we recently just linked up again because we got through what we needed to get through energetically on our own from what we both were going through. And, you know, we were going through similar things, but we weren't matching up with how we saw life at that point in that moment. And we had to have time apart, and we had to have whatever that was, peacefully doing our own thing and going off. And, you know, now our energetics, we happened to link up again and talked about the situation and how we can move forward from it. And you know, taking fault in where you're wrong is also very important. But also acknowledging where you can grow and where the other person needs to grow and where you can come up with that solution is very important. So again, being aware of the ebb and flow is important because you don't want to lose someone that does mean something to you and like that you do have an amazing relationship with and that you do have a lot of history with. But if ultimately they're bringing you down, they're hindering you, they're not good for your life, your energetics, that is when you make the biggest decision. And I'm not advocating like, oh, cut them off, cut them here. But yeah, like if energetically people want to be like, oh, she's a bitch, or oh, that was selfish, or she's rude, or whatever. No, I'm just being selfish on my energetics and allowing what I want, where I want my frequency to be at. I don't have time, energy, or effort to allow people to treat me that way or bad or looking down on me or like treating me like shit. I've been there, I've done it, I've been through it all, and now I finally know the difference with standards and the difference with awareness and what's the word I'm looking for? Not discipline. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. But having your boundaries. It's about having boundaries for you and how you deserve and want to be treated and how you're telling and allowing people to treat you. Ultimately, everything comes down to you. Everything comes down to where you're at inside. So whether there's drama going on in your life and it's blowing up in your face, or you're just in the most peaceful place, like ultimately it all has to be with what's going on inside of you. And some people are like, well, what? How did I attract that car accident? How did I attract someone like spilling their drink all over me while I was out? Like just little random things. How did I do that? You don't realize how much of a key player you are in your own reality and in your own life. So much so to that you really do need to go in and analyze internally what's going on that your subconscious is going through that you're not even really aware of. And so that takes me to your frequency levels. Once you start to level up, once you start to make better choices, make better habits, have better thoughts, your shift starts to happen. Your reality starts to change. Your outer world starts to change because you're ultimately changing your inner world. You're shifting your thoughts. You're shifting what you're physically doing on the daily. You're shifting your energy, your frequency. So inevitably, your outside world and energetics, what's mirroring back to you, is going to shift and change as well. So it's natural if people start to go out of your life. I've talked to a lot of people lately that are just like, I can't even stand being around this person, and they were my best friend, or they were my boyfriend, or they were my husband. Like, it's pretty insane. Husband, okay, that's a commitment. That is something that, but it does happen. People do shift and grow apart, but I'm a very big advocate for always trying to make it work and find ways to understand and learn each other and move forward and find solution, and don't just take the high road. The grass is always greener side. I was married for 4 years. I've been through a lot. So I was young. I kind of thought I had that mindset, like, grass is always greener, I'm sure, and it's not always. And you can't, if you have one problem with someone, if you don't fix it, you're going to have that problem just with another face. It might not be that same person. So until you figure out what is going on internally with you, you will not really help or figure out or fix any other relationship. So again, ultimately, all starts with you. But while you're raising your frequency and your energetics, don't be alarmed and afraid if people start to shift out of your life. It can be scary, and it can be like, but why is this happening? Because I'm actually leveling up and I'm trying to do better for myself, and I feel like I might need like that support system, and those are the people that know me, and those are the people that, have my back and I have history with. But when you go into those thoughts of like, oh, but I need them because of this and they give me that, like that's your old self, that's your ego, that's the change in front of you that you're scared to step into and holding on to the other stuff still. So I know it can be a lot and it can be overwhelming, but I think ultimately if you can find what resonates with you, it gives you so much more peace and so much more, peace in just knowing that whoever is meant to come in and out of your life will come in at the perfect time. And whoever's leaving your life, that's okay, and they're not resonating with where you're at. But knowing that you're doing the work, that you're leveling up, that you're moving forward for yourself, there's nothing more beautiful than that, because you're happy. You are doing things to serve you. That's self-love, that's self-care. I never really knew what loving yourself was. I was like, well, I love myself. I think I may have said this last time with the self-love thing. I love myself. I do things for myself. Sure. I dance. I do things I like. I go out with my friends. But like, it's so much more than that. Loving yourself is not letting somebody just tell, coming in up on your energetics and fucking with your frequency. And not allowing people to do that either. If plans change or someone cancels or something happens, I'm always like, oh, good. No worries. I am totally okay with going with the flow, because that's what's meant to happen. If that happened with someone canceling or something changed or plans switched or whatever had happened, all right, there's nothing you can do or change. So why stress out about it? Stress is like the number one most lowering your frequency, shitty thing that you can do to yourself and your energy. So just the less stressed you can be, the more at ease, the more just go with the flow, you're Gucci, because you are untouchable. Your energy is unfuckable, untouchable. You can't fuck with energy when you're solid in your decisions and you're solid in your boundaries. And again, shifting into this new you, new energetics, stepping forward into your life that you want to live for you, and really believing that you deserve it is all the new part of this life you want to create for yourself. And along with that, what comes along with that is losing sometimes people that you thought had your back, that you thought you loved, that you thought loved you, and vice versa. And it's okay. It's all okay. So just, and don't take things so personal. I realize well, what's wrong with me if they don't want to be my friend, or what happened, or this or that. No, it's not personal. It's all energetics, literally, you guys. They're just not vibing with it. And maybe, okay, sure, maybe they might take something personal. They might not like that you're happy all the time and you're moving forward in your life. So there might be a sense of jealousy for them. That's not for you. So really just owning your own emotions, owning your own shit, and knowing that whatever is projected on you from other people, and whatever other people how they might come at you emotionally, ultimately is not your fault, and it's not your problem. Of course, you can be humble. You can, feel for people and understand where they're coming from. But it's so important to not take on other people's shit and take on their emotions and do things out of guilt or out of I just feel bad. I'm doing it because of this. No, You do things for you, and you do all the things that make you feel good. And of course, humbly considering others as well. But at the end of the day, you need to take care of you and your energy and your energetics and who you let and allow in and out of your life and your energy and your aura. So I often now am asking myself, when I'm hanging out with someone, or if I'm, with friends, anyone, I'm just I ask myself, are you adding to the energy or are you taking away? Because I'm always going to be adding. I'm always going to be giving my energy, because I want people to give their energy to me. So you need to give what you want to get. So I'm constantly let me share my energy. Oh my gosh, I want to be positive. I want to share energy because I want that in return. But if I notice someone is always talking about their bullshit, always drama city, always them, always needing me to help them, never an equal energy exchange, why? I was doing that for so long. I was finding all these people or friends or relationships where I'm giving, and then they're taking, and I'm not getting anything back, and I'm just what the hell? And it gets frustrating, and it's not fair, but I allowed it. And that is the problem. If you're allowing it and you're not aware of it, you're going to keep cycling, and you're going to keep allowing it to happen. So being aware enough to analyze your relationships in a deeper way, and knowing when to set some boundaries and when to say yes and no is very important and crucial for your time, how you go about your time, and what you're able to accomplish moving forward. So, I like to say, I'm bringing a lot to the table. With any relationship, any job, any gig, anything I do, I'm bringing a lot to the table. What are you bringing? If you're not bringing anything to my table, I don't want you to sit at my table. So, because that's not an equal energy exchange. So again, coming down to that equal energy exchange, look at that, you guys. Is this person taking all my time, or are they actually genuinely asking if I'm okay? How am I doing? If I'm always helping them, are they returning the favor and asking, hey, can I help you with this? Or are you good? Or are they checking up on you the way you check up on them? Is that equal energetic exchange happening? Being aware of that, okay? protecting your energy is so important, because if you're at a certain level of energetics and you're doing well and you're happy and excited, that's great, but you want to keep that energetic frequency going. You want to keep that vibe. You want to keep high vibing so that you're not letting anything fuck with that. And when I mean protect your energy, it's like making those decisions and those choices that sometimes are hard, because, you know, I had a recent thing happen where I couldn't go to a really good friend's baby shower because an ex of mine was going to be there, and it energetically didn't match up. It energetically wasn't right. And I knew that I just needed to move forward and do my thing and not be at that event or that outing. And my friend completely understood, and it was totally cool, and the vibes were good, and I was open and I communicated to her, and vice versa. So yeah, open communication. And just, if you have to make a decision about going to an event or maybe not going to somewhere where someone might be that will totally mess with your energy, is important. And you need to gauge that for you depending on where you're at. Sometimes it's harder than other times. Like if you're very emotionally involved in something, you can get triggered and go back into old patterns. So maybe that's when you make that decision. Okay, I can't go energetically. For me, it doesn't match for me to go to that thing today because it's going to trigger me in some emotional way, and I don't want it to mess with my energy. So I'm going to be aware of that for myself. That is conscious effort and thought for yourself and your energetics, and how you're able to really be diligent in how you move forward to keep your energetic frequency at a good place. And people might come at you with a sense of, oh, she's selfish. But let them, because I'm at the point, you guys, I was very people pleaser for years, and I was always thinking about what everyone was thinking and hoping that I can make sure they're okay before me, and people please and make sure it's all good. Counselor, keep the peace. It's all good. Everyone make sure we're fine. For what? So everyone's going to be fine. Everyone needs to take care of them damn selves. So that means including you. You need to take care of yourself and do all the things that you want to do for you and how you're feeling in that moment. Do whatever you feel in that moment. Don't try to cater to what everyone else might think, do, be, want, feel, whatever. And that's when people start to notice, like when you do make that shift, and it's okay if they're not at a place if they're not evolved enough, they will come at you like, oh, she's selfish, oh, she does this, that, or okay, that's fine. That's the level of awareness that those people are at. So yes, they're gonna come at you with that. When you come from a place of love, from a place of no hard feelings, I'm just doing what I need to do for me in the energetics. When someone that's evolved, that understands and gets that too, they're like, yeah, no worries, it's all good. It's a total equal energetic exchange and understanding and respect. So again, do you is all I have to say. Okay, next thing, you guys, the people you surround yourself with are so key. You are made up of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So I want you to think about that right now. What 5 people do you spend the most time with? Write those 5 people down. And when you've written those 5 people down, I want you to ask yourself if they're helping you or hindering you. And I need you to ask yourself what you need to do in order to level up, help your frequency level up with those relationships. The 5 people you surround yourself with are the people that energetically make you. I don't care what you say, but no matter how, if you're with someone day in and day out, or here or there, or whatever, but in long periods of time, in time, you will develop traits and characteristics and intertwine energetics, and you will be influenced energetically by whoever you're surrounded with. I don't care who they are. I don't care what their personality is. It's their energy and it's their frequency. So know that whoever you are around, you will get filtered little bits of their energy will intermingle with your energy. So if those people have bad habits, bad tendencies, bad energetics, drama, you see where I'm going here with all that? It's all going to filter into your life too. I learned that majorly over the past 3 years. I really didn't protect my energy and myself, and I got in my head, and I got into the bar industry, and I was drinking too much and having fun, and I got lost, and I got out of a marriage, so I felt guilty, and I was just totally in a space that I did not ever think I would get to or be in, but I got there, and I know now that it was all the contrast I needed in order to be able to relate to people better and understand better and speak and whatever. But you guys, those 5 people, be so picky about who you allow into your life and who you're letting influence you and what they're saying to you and what you're allowing your subconscious to hear from them. Like, if you go out for, sorry, I'm going to close my door. It's a little loud. If you go out for breakfast or lunch, or you go out with a friend or something, and all they talk about is all the negative shit in their life, I'm like, yo, that was like an hour I just wasted of my life to hear your negative shit? Like, why? I get it. We're all here. We're all human. You can vent. No one is going to be positive all the time, and everyone goes through shit. And yes, you need to be a good friend and you need to be there for people. But that's what I mean by analyzing. Is this person always drama? Is this person always complaining about something? Is this person always like, that's when you need to look at, okay, this isn't just like an ebb and flow. Someone's going through something, whatever. This is that person, and it's not me anymore. I don't resonate with that anymore. It's not working anymore. So therefore, due to that and for that reason, I'm going to choose to remove myself energetically from the relationship or the situation or whatever that is. That can be tough because sometimes I think people are just like, how do I go about that? I don't want to just be like, I don't want to be your friend anymore, or like, I just don't want to be in your life. It's not even about that. Like, you can still be friends and you can still like watch each other and cheer each other on from the side. Just because like I'm not your best friend or with you doesn't mean I don't want to see you win. And I want you to eat, just not at my table. Does that make sense? And again, it's coming from a place of love, always coming from a place of love, and just knowing that you're just doing the best you can for you and your energy, and you're always coming from that place will always set you up for success, and always make sure that you're energetically making the right decisions for you and moving forward in the right way for you. And that's really what it's all about. So, does anyone have anything they want to comment on? I got a few of you on here right now, so I wanted to open the floor up for any questions, or if anyone has anything going on, if you guys want to type anything. Grace, Charlotte, Root, no? All right, cool. So with that being said, we have relationships in our life to show us, to teach us, so that we can learn, so that we can grow. Yay, I'm glad you're loving it. So good. So again, there's nothing negative in the end that comes out of a relationship, even if it seems like it is negative, or it seems like you wish you wouldn't have gone through it. I've been there, I know, and it's tough when hard stuff happens and experiences happen to us that are not so quote unquote great if you look at it from the outside. But I want you to know that everything happens for a reason, and at the end of every negative experience or tunnel, you will find a learning curve or growth or something out of it, I promise. And it might not be right away, and you will need to sometimes go through a healing process in order to get to that place of seeing where the growth happened and why you went through what you went through. But just know that it all happens for a reason, and you are on the right path, and you are always moving forward. So I have a question I'm going to answer really quick. Does family energy affect us? And absolutely, it definitely affects us. And the thing with family is it can be even more tough because you are very emotionally attached to family. And sorry, my dog's under my bed, like scraping her little bed. Shh. Yeah. Because you live with people at home, and when you're younger and you're in that family home setting, you don't have a choice. You're there, you're in those energetics. So those energetics can filter into your life, and you can pick up on those energetics. If your mom or dad are having like a lot of stress or bills or divorce or something happening, like as a kid, you pick up on that energetically. And it's important that if you're younger and at home, or if you are at home with family, just being aware of people's patterns and their tendencies and not allowing yourself to take it on. Knowing that it's okay, it's them. That's where their consciousness level's at. That's where they're evolved to right now. They might even be way older than you. That's okay though. But those older generations and people have a lot more of conditioning to break through and break down and get rid of, because they don't know all this stuff about energy and all this stuff about relationships and creating our own reality and our belief system. A lot of people that are older generations are waking up to it and becoming more open to it, but they weren't able to teach you. They weren't able to teach us, because we're now the teachers in this whole like energy science, like quantum physics world, which is like the trippy part and craziness of it. But being humble enough to be like, okay, that's where they're at. They're going through something right now. And seeing someone for when they are in an emotional state. Because when people are in emotions, they're not able to fully activate and act from the heart and intuition or logic, because they're so emotionally involved. I used to think, oh my God, emotions means I'm intuitive and I'm invested and it means I'm making the right choice. Oh no, emotions fog you up. They definitely make it hard to make proper decisions and things. So if you are a very emotional person, take a step back. If you know you're going to get emotional about something, like know yourself, know your triggers, and sit with yourself before you make a decision or before you open your mouth and say something to someone or and hurt them. I was very emotional in my last relationship, and I said a lot of things that I did not mean out of being so hurt and not being able to communicate properly. And you need to be able to know yourself enough to know your triggers. But if someone's triggering you to that extent also, you need to look at like, what are you allowing into your life and allowing in and out. Amazing. So we had another question I'm going to just address really quickly. So the question is, how do you advise people to deal with people that might be eating at your table that are constantly negative because they are going through a lot of the time? Okay, so first of all, I want you to ask yourself, if they're eating at your table and they're always negative, are they bringing some positive aspects into your life somehow? And looking at, okay, if they're on a lower vibrational level, are you at a level that you're able to continue to keep your energy there even if they're around? And you're hoping that, okay, they're going through something and eventually I know they'll crack and they'll be able to come to that level with me. And honestly, you need to ask yourself, if you're putting in a bunch of energy and effort into the relationship all the time, maybe pull back on the effort and energy a little bit and do you, and see if they're still coming to you. If they're still coming to you, that probably means they're trying to come to your energy. They want to move forward. They want to progress. They want to level up, but they're not sure how. They're going through things and they don't know. But if they start to drift away out of your life as you start to not put in so much effort and energy, it's probably because they are not resonating with you anymore, and they're still going to stay stuck in their story. They're still going to stay stuck in their thread, and they're going to cycle through that until they finally realize and figure out that they want to better themselves and level up and raise their vibration and frequency and move forward. So it's a very personal thing, and it's something that you need to analyze based on your own relationships and the relationship and history that you have with that person, and if a conversation's needed, or if it's worth it to just kind of let things fizzle out in a way that's respectable for you both. It kind of depends on that one, but I hope that kind of helped. Right. So the people you love and care about, it's draining to have to always hear about their problems and try to help them. And again, that's kind of where you guys, it's like, oh my gosh, I've gone out with a friend here or there, and I just was like, I think I talked for 5 minutes and they talked for an hour and a half. Or whatever it is. And like, that's cool. There's going to be times like that. And it's not always about you, and it's totally cool, but it needs to be equal too. And again, gauge your situation, read where you're at, and read your friendship and dynamics. And if it's like someone that you know them inside and out, and they're your best friend, and you know how they are, and they're going through something right now, that's a different story. But if it's a best friend that you've started to notice over the past year is only ever negative, and it's starting to really get on your nerves, and you actually feel like you physically can't even fucking hang out with them anymore, that is when you have to be like, okay, what's going on here, and why is this happening, and what do I need to analyze, and what's going on within me? What are the changes happening within me? Why did I accept that treatment and accept to be a counselor and accept someone to always be so negative around me for so long? Oh, maybe it was because I didn't know this about myself, or I didn't realize that about myself, or I didn't realize this about them. And now this is starting to shift your awareness and your perception on your thoughts and how you're going to move forward, and how you're going to cultivate the relationships moving forward. So there we are. There we have it. Okay, I'm getting one more question here. I'm loving this. I love that you guys are enjoying. How would you deal with a friend who you spend lots of time with and it's fun, but when it comes to talking, they shut you out? That is tough, because you can't ever really make someone tell you things, and you can't ever make someone open up to you. I think that everything in life honestly should be easy and flow. When you're in a flow state, everything is going to come to you easily because you're attracting it. You're positive, it's working, everything's flowing, it like just happens easily. So if this person, I think if you want someone to open up to you and they're not, I think you need to look at how you're acting with them. Are you opening up to them? Like, you want whatever you want to get out of them, you want to give to them, because you want that equal exchange. So if someone's not being like super open with you and telling you maybe, or you feel like they shut you out, like you have fun but they don't really tell you things, I would just be open with them. Like, tell them about what's kind of going on with you. And if you find that it's always you telling them about you and talking about you, finally I would open it up and be like, hey, like, I want to get to know you more. What's going on? Or what is the deeper thing going on? I feel like maybe energetically you're not telling me something. Would you mind sharing? And always leave it open to the person. People want to talk. People want to share. But sometimes people also don't want to burden people. And those are the conscious, aware people that are like, yes, we all have problems. I'm not going to talk about them because I don't want to bring them to the forefront. And I'm not going to dwell in this bullshit, so I'm not going to talk about it. So yeah, sometimes those are those people that maybe you can feel like there is something, but you don't know what. But just ask, just be open. Like, people so appreciate authenticity and just being open and real, and when someone cares. So I think more so if it's constantly you see that you're giving the energy, you're telling about you, and they're not telling about them, just say, hey, tell me more about you. What's going on? I want to know more. Like, let's converse, whatever. And if they are not reciprocating that, and they still don't want to communicate, or they're not communicating, you have to ask yourself, is it affecting you that much? Like, do you want to have a close relationship and it's just not working? And maybe why they're not telling you certain things might be because of how they grew up and their communication level, and they just don't they're not sure, because everyone communicates different. Everyone has their own way of doing things. So it's important to know that, not take it personal also. You never know what they could be going through. And then at the end of the day, if it's really like you continue to hang out and they just don't really open up to you, then okay, that relationship might fizzle out, because you're growing, you're looking for deeper connection, you're looking for people that want to speak to you and tell you deeper things. But be open to doing the same, and be open to being vulnerable for yourself, so that you will receive that back and mirrored back to you. Cool. All right, you guys, I think, unless we have any more questions, does anyone have anything else they want to ask about anything? Feel free. Nothing yet? Okay. Perfect. I'm loving this. Every Monday, 12 p.m. PST. Please join me. We're going to have amazing chats, mindset, motivation, energy, success, conspiracy theories, aliens, all the crazy stuff we'll be speaking about. I'm also going to have amazing speakers on here, you guys. We're going to do Instagram lives. One of my best friends, Tanya Memi, she is the host on Sell This House. She was on for 13 seasons. She's now back on the show. They're filming right now. I think they're in Texas. They just got there. So she's going to be coming on the show. A good friend of mine, Rob Mack Official, is an amazing success coach, happiness and wellness coach. I'm going to be bringing him on in August. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you. Have an amazing week. If anyone needs anything at all, hit me up. Quantum Magic TV, Shay J Official as well. And I am so glad that you guys enjoyed this talk, this chat. And I can't wait to speak more with you all. Woo! Kill your week. Happy Monday. Love you guys.